To state the obvious, I'm not going to bring a girl back to my parents' house, and I'm 26 years old.
Still living with your parents in your mid-20s? Well, you're not alone. Data we commissioned shows that more than 4 in 10 25-year-olds still live with their parents, and that used to be closer to 2 in 10 back in the 1990s.
I think there's no world where it's normal to be 26 years old still living at home. It's unfair on me, it's unfair on my parents.
But not everyone sees it that way.
Once you get over that sort of initial, I'm moving home and I'm a failure. Actually, you get a pretty sweet deal when you're at home. Would never ever be able to afford a house like this on my own. Having a garden, the shower here is really good. There's a dishwasher, which I didn't have in my flat before.
For some, living at home offers a bit more space, support and a chance to save. Our data shows home ownership among 25-year-olds has fallen off a cliff.
Interesting story. Is it unfair? Well, the jury is still out on that one in particular. I mean, look, you're going to see so many more people that are of the age of mid-20s, there and thereabouts, are saying that they can't afford to buy a property for whatever reason. And yes, property prices have gone through the roof. But there is also an element of compromise that you need to have. If you don't have the initial budget, but you still want the independence to buy a property, then you personally need to compromise on certain things. It could be on the location. If you are living with your parents in one specific spot, but the houses in that area tend to go for a lot more than what you can afford, well, then you have to make a conscious decision to move a little bit further out in some sort of way. It could only be 10 minutes down the road, but that 10 minutes could be the difference of you buying a property and not buying a property. If you are living at home with your parents and you're not actually spending anything on housekeeping whatsoever, you don't end up having to pay anything for food, for showers, for utility bills in any way, shape or form, and you're essentially just saving your money or using it to go on holidays, etc., then again, you're going to have to compromise to some sort of degree, again, if you want that independence. There are so many options out there right now for first-time buyers to help support you to be in a position to be able to acquire a property. Whether that allows you to buy something in the areas that you're looking for, or whether it allows you to be within the remits of your affordability, that's up for debate and something obviously that you need to cross-check with a broker. But ultimately, being in a position to be able to purchase a property is there. Halifax in particular, as I've mentioned in another video, is offering a £5,000 deposit setup. And in some cases, you could even do it with a £4,000 deposit if you go down the route of an ISA. If you put £4,000 into an ISA, the government will give you 25%, and that's your £5,000 there. So you only essentially need to save a deposit of about £4,000 in some cases, or £5,000 in other cases, to be able to purchase a property. Yes, you have solicitor fees, which again is going to be somewhere in the region of about £1,500 to £2,000. So you're looking at about £7,000 that you need in order to get your foot on the ladder. That's not a steep climb, especially if you are living at home and you're not spending much in rent or housekeeping in any sort of way, shape or form. So would I say it's unfair? No, I don't think it's unfair. Are property prices at the minute unfair? Yeah, absolutely. They have been taking the mick for the God knows how long. But ultimately, you have all the facilities to be able to buy a property. And as I've put in a previous video, if you wait for the market to fall to fit you, you're going to get caught out. The properties that you're seeing today at 300,000 are going to go up in value. As I did another video on the Bedford region only recently, you've seen property prices generally in the East of England area increase by £21,000 across the area. So your options are you either buy a property, compromise where you possibly can in some sort of way, take accountability for the spending, get used to it, get your independence, and not be in a position where you have to go on a BBC News article and say that you think it's unfair, and actually find a way to make it happen. Everything in this world that you want to achieve involves some sort of sacrifice, some sort of compromise, and then you get the benefits down the line. It's no different with property. If you want to buy a property, you have to save the deposit. If you want to buy a bigger property, you've got to save a larger deposit. If you want to live in a specific location, you've got to have the right salary to accommodate the financial ability to buy in that particular area. But if you just want the independence and you can find something outside of London, somewhere that isn't necessarily going to cost you £400,000, there is absolute options there. Halifax will allow you to buy up to £300,000 with a £5,000 deposit as a first-time buyer. Or if you are buying as a couple, only one of you needs to be a first-time buyer. The other person could be someone who's bought or sold a property before. The amount of options on the table are wild, and you are definitely in a position where you can acquire a property easier, better and quicker today than you have done in the last sort of 10 years.